The Dayton-Hudson's Corporation, with headquarters in Minneapolis, is the fourth largest general merchandise retailer in the United States. The corporation consists of Target, an upscale discount chain, Mervyn's, a middle-market promotional department store, and the department store division, consisting of Dayton's, Hudson's, and Marshall Field's, all upscale department stores. Hudson's is opening a new store at the Somerset Mall, an upscale shopping mall in suburban Detroit. At 315,000 square feet, the new Hudson's is the largest anchor in the mall. It will showcase Hudson's finest merchandise and is dedicated to providing excellent customer service. Hudson's is hiring approximately 1,000 people for the new store. A major concern for Hudson's is hiring employees who have a strong commitment to serving customers. Many of the interviewees will be internal candidates from Hudson's 21 stores. It will be easier for Hudson's managers Judy McCabe and Carrie Judd to determine internal candidates' commitment to service because they can observe the candidates' work performance and talk to their supervisors. It is more difficult to select external candidates.
This store will have a high level of service, and the culture that we're going to build together is going to be service driven, and it's going to be everything for the guest. So I really needed to know that they were committed, to that focus before I even started to hire them. So every one of them has service and serving the guest as their top priority.
In order to provide this high level of service, Hudson's is looking for people with very specific skills.
I'm looking for strong leadership skills, people that enjoy responsibility, people that enjoy a fast-paced environment, so people that are high energy, enthusiastic about the business that we're in, who enjoy a varied schedule in their job.
We look for the person who gets excited, who articulates themselves in a manner that can be understood by their audience, knowing who their audience is. So we look at that as well as how they're dressed, how they're groomed, and for the positions in retailing anyway, we look for their interactive and interpersonal skills.
I'm looking for someone who I know will be nice to customers. I can teach you the other things and help you be more successful in your management skills or selling skills, closing the sale, adding additional items so you're more productive while you're on. But I can't teach you how to be a nice person or want to serve people. That has to come from within.
A major hurdle candidates face is standing out from their competition.
Sometimes there's a large field of candidates all vying for the same position, so you have to do something to distinguish yourself from them. It takes perseverance. Sometimes you have to call back when you don't feel like calling again because you don't want to bug them. You really need to make sure that you communicate your interest in the position and that you're qualified for the position. I look for someone who seems prepared to talk to me about what they're going to offer to the organization.
How should you prepare for a job interview?
They really also need to be prepared to discuss how the company's goals and objectives fit into their personal goals and objectives to help the interviewer see how they'd be a good fit for the organization.
If they're an external candidate coming from outside the company, of course they should try to learn a little bit about the company, be sure they know what job they're interviewing for when they come to the company, or ask that question. In a large store opening like this, I'm sure we're going to have people come and ask us what jobs you have available, but at least to ask that question instead of me thinking, well, I don't even know where you want to go when the interview's over with.
They should really ask themselves questions in their head that they think the interviewer is going to ask them. They need to have good, solid examples of what they've contributed to past organizations, or what they've done in school, or what they've done in their extracurricular activities that would make them a good candidate for the position they're looking for.
I think that you never have a second chance to make a first impression.
The first impression candidates make during the interview is an important part of the hiring decision.
I might not see that person again, so they have one chance to make a good impression, just as I do on someone else.
I look for someone who's articulate, confident, who has prepared for the interview. I look for a candidate who is able to give me solid examples of what they've contributed, either in their past jobs or in organizations they've been involved in or in schooling.
Candidates should have positive body language.
Positive body language would include very good solid eye contact, a good solid handshake, someone who's professionally dressed and well groomed, someone who speaks loudly and confidently, someone who gives me the impression that they are ready to take on a leadership position.
It's the magnetism that I think the magnetism, the aura that you present yourself, whether you shake my hand, whether you're smiling, whether you're confident.
I truly believe that when you're interviewing, that's the best you're ever going to see the person and how they look and how they dress and how they present themselves. That, not that they won't grow with you and your company and change, but it's not going to get a lot better from there.
Candidates often face several potential problems.
Nervousness is a big problem. Lack of preparation is probably the single biggest problem that applicants run into. They really don't know what they want to communicate to me as to why they'd be a good candidate for our organization, or at least they haven't thought about how they're going to articulate that when they come into the room. So they stumble, they don't have examples of their leadership or of what they've done to contribute to other organizations. Other obstacles would be a lack of focus on the question that I ask. I'll ask them a question and they'll have lots of things to say, but none of the things that they say really fully give me an answer about the question I've asked. So if they meander in their answer to me, I wonder if they're able to communicate well in the job.
Candidates must be prepared to show their problem-solving skills.
We give them problems to solve. What if you had an upset customer that came in? How would you handle that situation? What if she said it was $5 cheaper down the road? What would you do? What would they say if I'm very upset because this didn't wear the way it was supposed to? What would you say? What would you say if they came in and said that, you know what, yesterday, Jean, one of your sales associates, waited on me and it was fantastic? How would you respond to that customer? How would you respond to Jane?
Many candidates prepare resumes.
A resume is very important. It gives the interviewer an opportunity to briefly scan the history of the applicant ahead of time so that the interviewer can prepare their questions.
What are the characteristics of effective resumes?
Needs to be typed up. It needs to have a good presentation, a good package.
A good, solid, concise resume is always very helpful.
Needs to list the person's accomplishments, not just I worked here. You worked here, but what did you do there?
I look for progressive growth of an individual, additional responsibilities, progressive success in their current job or with the company that they've been with. I look for concise but thoughtful comments about what they've contributed to their organizations.
It is important that a candidate follow up with Hudson's after the interview.
I always am impressed by a thank you note or a card dropped to me, just to remind me of our interview and the candidate's interest in the position that we have available. I also would suggest that a candidate ask for a follow-up date, a date that they can either expect to hear some information from the interviewer or when they might be able to call the interviewer back.
Hudson's is confident it has put together an outstanding management team that will provide excellent customer service. Its challenge is to find employees who will also be committed to providing outstanding service.